Hi there. My name is Noah Newman, and I'm one of the project coordinators for We Are Water. I'm here today to talk about some ideas on planning your opening day event when hosting the We Are Water exhibit. The We Are Water opening day event, I'm going to go over in this guide here. Basically, the big picture of what we're looking at here, how to consider inviting partners to attend, how we set up what we call a scavenger hunt, thinking about the opening ceremony and what you might want to say or do, or groups you might want to invite for that. We'll also talk briefly about food and even some marketing ideas. So, the big goal here overall is to create a bit of a community buzz, and not just for patrons to see the new exhibit on the opening day, but really to engage community members to come back and explore the exhibit in depth at a later date. So the partners that you invite, they're going to want to come back and see it, and the patrons themselves, as much as the opening day is neat to see, hopefully they'll be enticed to come back and view the exhibit later on. So we do this by inviting partners within the community, any one of them that might have a connection to water or water education, and give them an opportunity to share their resources at the opening day event by offering them a table where they can display their materials. And then we build basically a scavenger hunt where we encourage everyone to go to each table and collect a stamp where they can turn it in at the end to collect a prize. Just in this slide here in the upper left, you're seeing a group that is showing off aquatic bugs, macroinvertebrates. So that was really fun. In the lower left, that's actually me showing off some water cycle activities. And then the next picture in the top there is a community partner that's showing off using Play Doh and showing off how water flows off of mountains in a watershed demonstration. And then in that last picture, we're seeing some partners at the Forest Service who brought in a coring device, and we're showing how scientists use tree ring data to see floods and droughts in tree ring data. So lots of different ideas that can be had. When it comes to inviting partners, you probably already know some of the partners that you might want to invite. Most local, state, and national government agencies in your communities, they have outreach education components, and many of them even have a person on staff that does field trips or community presentations. You might want to consider even just pulling up literally maps.google.com and zooming in on your area and then typing in the search bar for water or water education. You might be surprised at some of the groups that you might find. Every county, or nearly every county in the country, has got what's called a conservation district. And if you call them, they might have some ideas if they don't have someone direct. Um, and then a lot of counties have what's called an extension office, usually tied to a state college. And there they've got ties to the Master Gardeners program, which, of course, gardening, water, it all connects. So see if someone there is willing to host a table at the event. Then you've got state parks, natural resource agencies like the USDA or the NRCS, Natural Resources Conservation. Sorry if I'm not actually remembering that acronym on the spot here. They've got staff that do field trips and presentations, things like that. Um, and then your local utilities. We've got the fire department, the stormwater runoff folks. Sometimes they do demonstrations. Maybe they even have something where they can bring in some equipment into the parking lot and show off their their water equipment. Um, Oftentimes with this though, it does take a phone call. You've got to sometimes ask to speak to the person on staff who might do outreach events and just talk to them and about what's going on with your opening day. And the whole issue here is that it's a win-win for everyone, because you're going to be promoting them and their group by putting their logo on the opening day materials. It's their opportunity to share their materials with a new group of the public that they might not interact with normally. So it's really a win-win for everyone. Here's an image of the handout that we use, the scavenger hunt here at Ignacio Public Library, where you can see the different tabletop kind of hands-on exhibits that we had towards the top, and then you can interact with the local groups that we had invited. And then there's actually even a backside here. Each table is provided with a stamp, and as the kids or kids with their parents come by, you give them a stamp, and then you encourage them at the end to turn it in for a prize. And here's the backside. You can see where there's some more partners. We integrated the exhibit, so you would encourage them to still see the exhibit, of course, during the opening day. And then there's even a QR code where we can get this QR code to point back to We Are Water resources or more resources at your library. For your opening day, classrooms can be invited, but this takes a little bit of extra organization. We found the sweet spot is third through fifth grade, but of course, younger kids and older kids are certainly welcomed and encouraged. So, to organize it best, you want to make sure to work with the school ahead of time with plans to split the kids into smaller groups for exploring the exhibits. And it'll happen in kind of an organized fashion. It also helps if there can be one adult to stay with each group and lead them around throughout the different rotations. So let me explain a little bit more. Your plan will be to have a staff member stationed at each exhibit where they're going to do a 10-minute demonstration and give the kids in their group some time to do some hands-on experience with that exhibit. So, for instance, if you're hosting the 4 We Are Water exhibit pieces, and then you want to add a fifth exhibit, such as the section where they can maybe check out a book, then each group rotating around each 10 minutes, it would take 50 minutes total. If you had, let's say, 2 classrooms, 60 kids total, then that would be 5 stations. You would have 12 kids per group, and every 10 minutes, each group would rotate to the next station. So schools can also be invited for scheduled field trips like we're seeing here in this photo. We can see an opening day where we hosted some additional presentations besides the exhibit inside. We would encourage you to do some sort of opening ceremony of sorts, whether that's inviting a group. You know your community, and so here we've got some ceremonial dancers in Zuni, New Mexico, and in Page, Arizona. We had an incredible hoop dancers, and so if you've got a representative group in your community that would fit into the exhibit, this would be a great opportunity to invite them. And whether you have a performance or not, you still want to consider on your opening day to at least at one point kind of gather everyone around. And even if it's not a community elder who wants to say a prayer, which is certainly something we did in this, but even just the library director yourself can say a few words to thank everyone for showing up for the event. Uh, Nearly last but not least, food always helps. Whether or not, not just for the patrons, but for your invited guests, the partners that have the tables. In this case, someone ordered a cake and had pizza and salads for anyone that wanted some. So this was a great idea. it's not unheard of to invite a food truck to be there at the event. They might be motivated themselves knowing that there'll be lots of people at the library that day. And then finally, marketing. Um, Again, you know your community best, and you know at your library how you do your own marketing, um, website, social media, signage, etc. Um, I guess the what I would say though, and it's not really in these images here, but don't be afraid to promote all the partners that are going to be showing up. Put their logos on these things. Get all the more logos, the better, and that way the you can create a little bit more of a buzz. And of course, what I'd really recommend is to make sure that you contact your local newspaper and make sure that someone on their staff is there at the event to see what's going on. So I think that covers it. Please reach out to us at the We Are Water partner hosts and at CU Boulder, or myself, Noah Newman, and I'm at Colorado State University, and we'll be happy to help you with any of your materials. So thank you very much, and we hope you have a good opening day.